In Togo, Great, opened this Wednesday in Lomé, highlighting the nation's growing digital ambitions. Organized by the Ministry of Public Service, the event brings together innovators, entrepreneurs, and investors to showcase Togo's technological potential and foster collaboration toward an Africa ready to meet the digital challenges sustainably. Details coming out shortly. It is always a pleasure to have you join us. To our very first story, the third Luanda Summit on Africa's infrastructure financing. President for Asazana Singbe urged African leaders to match the continent's bold visions with decisive action. Speaking before heads of state and development partners, the president of the council urged swift, united action to turn Africa's visions under the PIDA and the AFCFTA into reality, emphasizing self-financing, integrated corridors, sustainable infrastructure, and inclusive growth. The Togolese leader reaffirmed Africa's capacity and responsibility to fund and build the future envisioned in the African Union's Agenda 2063. Gabriel Ayina gives us a summary of his speech at the summit.
Distingués invités, mesdames et messieurs, avec l'agenda 2063.
At the third Luanda Summit on Infrastructure Financing in Africa, the President of the Council, for Asazana Nyazengbe, called for faster and more coordinated action to realize the Africa envisioned in Agenda 2063. He reminded participants that with frameworks like the Program for Infrastructure Development in Africa and the African Continental Free Trade Area, the continent already has the vision, the political frameworks, and clear priorities. What Africa needs now, he said, is speed, coherence, and collective will in implementation. The president outlined 4 major priorities for transforming ambition into tangible results. First, Africa must mobilize its own financial resources to fund its future. The continent holds vast capital in pension funds, sovereign wealth, and domestic savings, yet much of it remains underutilized or invest abroad. He urged African nations to channel this capital into productive infrastructure through bold financial mechanisms such as public-private co-investment platforms, regional investment vehicles, and African credit guarantee system to inspire investor confidence. Second, he highlighted the importance of integrated transports and energy corridors, the true arteries of intra-African trade. Roads, railways, ports, and digital networks, he said, are more than physical infrastructure. They are the lifelines of integration and competitiveness, turning landlocked countries into vibrant trade hubs. But beyond concrete and steel, he stressed the need for harmonized customs, digital systems, and shared governance to ensure efficiency and connectivity. Third, the president called for making the African Continental Free Trade Area a living economic space. The foundations of the continental market are in place, but without efficient infrastructure, this vision remains theoretical. Every functioning corridor, he noted, cuts trade costs, attracts productive investment, and strengthens regional value chains in sectors such as agro-industry, textiles, logistics, and mineral processing. Finally, he insisted that Africa must build better, not just build more. Infrastructure must be sustainable, resilient, and transparent, capable of withstanding climate shocks and supporting the green transition. Above all, it must serve Africa's youth, women, and entrepreneurs, creating access to markets, jobs, and inclusive opportunities. For President Nyasingbe, investing in African infrastructure means investing in shared prosperity, social cohesion, and continental unity. He reaffirmed Togo's full commitment to advancing this vision in a spirit of regional coordination, African solidarity, and mutual confidence in order to build a strong, sovereign, and prosperous Africa.
De solidarité continentale et de confiance partagée. Je vous remercie de votre aimable attention.
And just like the president of the Council, African leaders, investors, and development partners gathered in Luanda for the third summit on infrastructure financing in Africa, calling for bold, coordinated action to close the continent's infrastructure gap. The summit focused on mobilizing domestic and private resources to accelerate projects that drive integration and sustainable growth across Africa. And that was a message carried by the president of the Council for Asazuna Nyasingbe. Invest African to build African. Gabriel Ayena.
The third Luanda Summit on Infrastructure Financing in Africa, convened by the African Union and hosted by Angola, brought together African heads of states, ministers, and international partners. The goal, to find sustainable solutions for financing the infrastructure Africa needs to grow, from transport and energy networks to digital connectivity, and to accelerate the implementation of Agenda 2063, the African Union's vision for inclusive development. At this high-level meeting, the President of the Council for Assessment Nyazengbe reaffirmed his conviction Africa must finance its own future. Under the theme Capital Corridors and Trade, this edition encouraged leaders and investors to pool resources and expertise to build the infrastructure essential for the success of the African Continental Free Trade Area, a single market designed to boost trade between African nations and reduce dependency on external markets. From the summit podium, President of the Council for Sazam Nyazengbe called for a stronger mobilization of African capital, emphasizing that the continent's wealth, its savings, pension funds, and sovereign resources should first serve to finance its own priorities. He also urged the strengthening of integrated economic corridors, the roads, railways, ports, and energy grids that link African regions together. This, he said, are the vital arteries of intra-African trade capable of transforming landlocked countries into dynamic economic hubs. His contribution echoed a growing continental resolve to move from plans to action, to strengthen cooperation, attract strategic investment, and accelerate Africa's economic integration for a continent that builds, trades, and prospers on its own terms.
And back to our country, Honorable Komi Salom Klasu is the new Speaker of the Togolese National Assembly. He was elected during the Parliament's second plenary session of the second ordinary session of the year 2025. The session also renewed the 4 vacant positions of the Assembly's Bureau. Kwesi Gley reports.
I hereby hand you this gavel, the symbol of your authority to preside over the work of our assembly. They took over the leadership of the National Assembly, elected unanimously by the members of Parliament present in accordance with Article 15 of the Rules of Procedure. He succeeds Sebo Tipe Kojo Adeje, who has been called to other duties within the government. Fully aware of the weight of his new responsibility, the newly elected Speaker expressed his determination to continue the institutional momentum and to strengthen the legislative work initiated by his predecessors.
Je mesure pleinement la portée de cette marque de confiance et je m'engage.
I fully understand the significance of this mark of trust and pledge to serve with loyalty and determination to be worthy of it. This choice is an honor, but above all, a duty to be a leader who listens. who safeguards dialogue, cohesion, and respect for the Republican values that uphold our Fifth Republic. I wish solemnly express my profound gratitude to His Excellency for Esosina Nyasingbe, President of the Council, for the confidence, esteem, and constant support he continues to extend to the institution of the Republic and their leaders.
Il ne cesse d'accorder aux institutions de la République et à leurs responsables.
Presided over by the fourth Vice President, the plenary session also completed the Bureau of the National Assembly with the election of Memunatu Ibrahima, first Vice President, Gwalgeboa Kangweni, second Vice President, Mohamed Chad Oruzama, and Pao Mondom Muela, third and fifth Vice President, respectively. These elections were conducted in strict compliance with the Assembly's internal regulations. In addition, and in accordance with Article 185 of the Electoral Code, 14 new members of Parliament were sworn in to fill seats left vacant following cases of incompatibility or voluntary resignation. At this close of the proceedings, the Minister of Justice and Human Rights representing the government recommended the political and institutional maturity that continues to characterize this legislature.
L'Assemblée nationale vient de porter à sa tête le professeur Selom Klassou, un homme de conviction.
The National Assembly has just elected Professor Selom Klassou, a man of conviction and experience, to lead Parliament. It is a strong signal at the dawn of this new legislature term. He is an experienced man who will raise high the voices of our MPs for a stronger, more democratic Togo that works for the well-being of all its citizens.
Plus fort, plus démocratique et un Togo qui travaillera toujours pour le bien-être de tous les Togolais.
With the election of each new president and the full reconstitution of each bureau, the National Assembly embarks on a new phase of its mandate, one marked by continuity, dialogue, and legislative efficiency in the service of national development.
The High Authority for Audiovisual and Communication, HAC, has warned print and online media outlets that failure to comply with professional identification requirements could lead to the revocation of their publication authorities. Kwesi Glay has the details in this report.
The High Authority for Audiovisual and Communication, HAC, in its communique of the 25th of September 2023 and the 19th of January 2024 reminded the heads of print and online media outlets holding receipts or authorizations of their obligation to clearly display on their publications and websites the professional requirements, including the URSS, the receipt number, and the website address with the .td domain. However, the HAC notes that some media outlets are still not complying with these rules. Consequently, any publication that fails to provide the required information will be rejected and the corresponding receipt or authorization may be revoked. The president of the HAC calls on all publication directors to act responsibly and ensure a professional press. Issued in Lome on the 29th of October 2025 and signed by the president of the HAC, Pitalunani Telu.
The Grand Meeting of Technological Innovation in Togo, GRET, was officially launched this Wednesday in Lomé. Organized by the Ministry of Public Service Efficiency and Digital Transformation, the event aims to showcase Togo's technological potential and also serve as a platform for exchange, knowledge sharing, and collaboration between innovators and investors, contributing to an Africa capable of addressing today's and tomorrow's digital challenges. Ahoifano Chugan reports.
Togo A land of technological innovation and digital vision is opening its doors to the entire African continent to collectively shape the story of a connected Africa and its future. The 2025 edition of the Great Technological Innovation Meeting (GREAT) presents an ambitious challenge. Nearly 40 startups and innovators are participating, alongside around 20 investors and representatives from a dozen countries. The Lome event showcases a young, dynamic, and ambitious Africa, providing a true platform for exchange and opportunity, where innovation and investment converge to highlight talent beyond borders. Today, 78% of the Togolese population is connected via mobile, over 37% have internet access, nearly 20% of administrative procedures are digitized, and almost 4 billion CFA francs in transactions have been facilitated since 2021 through Togo Digital. These figures inspire confidence among technical and financial partners alike. Togo is laying the groundwork for a comprehensive digital transformation, accelerating inclusion through the digitalization of essential public and social services, stimulating wealth creation, and fostering innovation to position the country as a regional digital hub. Its strategy is built on 5 key structural pillars that guide the sector's development.
Togo is ready to play its part as a regional leader. We are building a national innovation hub, a platform designed to support African tech startups through 1. Capacity building and entrepreneurship programs, easier access to financing, and a collaborative ecosystem that accelerates growth. This hub will focus on high-potential verticals such as fintech, agri-tech, health tech, clean tech, ed tech, and logistics. Our goal is simple: to make Lome and Togo a crossroad for innovation where Francophone and Anglophone Africa meet, co-create, and grow together. By 2030, we expect to support more than 250 startups, create over 1,000 jobs, and contribute to up to 2% of the national GDP through tech innovation. Because innovation is not just about code and technology, it's about people, courage, and collaboration. We are a small nation with a big vision, a vision for Africa. And this vision will only come true if we work together, if we build together, if we dare together. To every entrepreneur, to every investor in this room, Africa believes in you. Together, let's make innovation our common language, our shared strength, and our legacy to future generations.
GRID 2025 highlights Togo's ongoing digital momentum and underscores the country's effort to strengthen its technological ecosystem and harness innovation as a driver of national development.
On Global Media and Information Literacy Week, observed from October 24 to 31, UNESCO uses the occasion to promote responsible use of media, a message that is strongly reinforced by the Togolese government. Minister of Communication Yawa Kwigam urges citizens and media professionals to use information responsibly and fight misinformation. Kwesi.
On the occasion of Global Media and Information Literacy Week, the Minister of Communication, Yawa Kwigam, calls on all citizens to use information channels responsibly and wisely in order to fully exercise their right to reliable information. In recent times, many consumers of media content have struggled to distinguish between fact and fiction. Unfortunately, misinformation, disinformation, fake news, and deepfakes are often shared widely. To strengthen democracy and national development, the minister urges everyone to inform themselves critically and thoughtfully. Achieving this requires developing strong skill in media and information literacy. To fully engage the media and raising public awareness, media professionals will receive additional training on topics related to press and communication code, as well as on the law governing access to information and public records. The minister also encourages media actors to prioritize a meaningful digital transition to enhance the sector's capacities. Adapting to the evolving demands of the digital environment is essential to achieving these goals. Every citizen must verify information before sharing it. Yawakwigan, Minister of Communication, emphasizes that this is the cornerstone of a healthy democracy and a public debate grounded in truth.
And indeed, Togo's digital task control model is drawing international attention. Visiting Lomé, a Senegalese delegation is studying the operation of the automated marking solution implemented by Togo. The aim is to adapt and replicate the successful approach to improve tax transparency and revenue mobilization in Senegal. Ahifano Chugan has the details in this report.
The purpose of the Senegalese delegation's visit to Lomé was to understand how Togo's automated product marking system operates. Engaged in its own process of modernizing its tax administration, Senegal hopes to learn from Togo's experience to enhance transparency and improve the collection of domestic revenues.
Cette visite, c'est une instruction.
This visit was conducted under the instructions of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Senegal, Bassirou Diomaye Faye. What we observed in the area of product marking is that it is a highly advanced technology implemented in collaboration with technical partners, customs, and other relevant services. We examined how products subject to marking are selected and how administrations are organized to provide a comprehensive view of the entire system and the procedures in place. Following these discussions, the delegation went on a field visit where they were able to see the marking system in operation firsthand. Making stops at vantage points including some supermarkets and custom operation division, they closely observed the procedures for verifying marked product. For Togo, this visit represents recognition of its efforts to digitize fiscal control. This reform is already attracting attention from other countries. It is an honor for us to present everything we are doing here so that Senegal can apply these lessons within its own framework. Through this visit, a new path opens for Senegal to strengthen and modernize its tax system.
That brings us to the end of today's edition. Thanks to my wonderful team and to you, cherished viewers, for watching. Stay tuned to our channel for more updates and remember to ask yourself, is there anything too hard for God? Absolutely not. Have a wonderful evening. See you next month. Goodbye.